It's the fuss about Russ. What do they do?
You can't get rid of him in all likelihood because he's making $44 million this year. He's in the last year of his deal, play option. I think he's at $47 million next season, and a lot of people are not going to want to touch that right now. But it's an incredibly sad situation because Russell Westbrook is somebody that never, ever cheats the game. He always gives you effort. He always goes out there and gives it 100%. But he can't shoot. And in my estimation, here's what it comes down to. He needs to do what he basically did against the Charlotte Hornets a few weeks ago when we were doing NBA Countdown and we put on the show, but they ultimately lost that game. He attacked the basket with vigor. Layups, 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 or kick it out to somebody who can shoot. We have to understand the magnitude of what's transpiring here. Russell Westbrook, a future Hall of Famer, the crowd at the Staples Center was chanting, screaming, "Don't shoot, don't shoot." They were screaming for him not to shoot the ball. They booed him when he shot an air ball. They booed him when he hit the side of the backboard. He hit the side of the backboard on like a 17-foot jump shot. It is bad. You could say it's a slump, but when your game is predicated on athleticism, not shooting like a Steph, not shooting like a Klay Thompson or a Ray Allen back in the day or whatever, but it's predicated on athleticism, and you lose your ability to shoot the ball and they could just lay off you and dare you to shoot, your career is in grave jeopardy, period.
And the point that you made a moment ago about that game against Charlotte, for those who didn't watch it, that was a game that the Lakers played without LeBron James or Anthony Davis, which brings us back to the question that we've been asking all season long. What is Russell Westbrook's role when those guys are there? They've got 2 months to figure that out, because I agree with you, he's not going to get traded. He makes too much money. Will he have a significant role on this team when we get to the playoffs?
I don't think when it counts. When it counts, you're going to see him on the bench because he's a liability from the perimeter. And as a result of that, when he's not going, he's so frustrated he loses all confidence. So now you can exploit his vulnerabilities in various ways. If his shot is not falling and he's feeling the effects of that and he's doing exactly what LeBron James pointed out, he's second and third guessing himself. What happens is all of a sudden when you are a liability on the defensive end of the floor because somebody is getting the better of you, that contributes to your diminished confidence. When people are screaming for you not to shoot, that messes with your confidence. Ultimately, what it comes down to is that Russell Westbrook is a freak athlete who can attack the basket with vigor against anybody. Sometimes it's simply about recognizing and appreciating what you can't do, accepting it and saying, okay, but this is what I can do. And if he gets back to that, I think he'll be just fine. And he'll be, to some degree, what LeBron James is alluding to. The problem with Russ is that he's so strong-willed, he wants to defy the critics and the skeptics by doing what they say he can't do, which means that he's exposing himself to being even more exposed.
Yesterday on this show, Kendrick Perkins said Malik Monk is now the third member of the Big Three in Los Angeles. So
that is correct.
Where they stand. Two things I want to get in with you quickly here before I let you go to first take. Trade deadline is Thursday. Nets, Harden, what do you think?
No way in hell should the Philadelphia 76ers trade Ben Simmons within the division to a Brooklyn Nets squad. I believe that Ben Simmons, with a healthy and available Kyrie Irving and a healthy Kevin Durant, can beat anybody. They certainly would beat Philly. They would be a roadblock, an impediment to Philadelphia's success. James Harden, for all his greatness, is older, he's bigger, and now he has hamstring issues. You move him for Ben Simmons, that is a win for the Nets. It is not necessarily a win for the Philadelphia 76ers.
See, that's interesting to me. I actually agree with you. But Big Perk on this show yesterday said you put Harden and Embiid together, and they become the team to beat in the East.
We all appreciate the greatness of Kendrick Perkins, Santa Perk, Big Perk. He is not Stephen A. It's just that simple.
Yeah.
He is on that side of the fence. I'm on this side of the fence.
What are the Sixers? What are they with Embiid and Harden?
Well, with Embiid and Harden, they're a championship contender, but not above Brooklyn if Simmons is on Brooklyn. And the point is that they're standing in your way. If Brooklyn was in the Western Conference, I wouldn't care. Brooklyn is in the same division as the Philadelphia, not just the same conference, the same division as the Philadelphia 76ers. That is a direct roadblock and impediment to your success. I think it would be absolutely foolish for Daryl Morey to trade Ben Simmons there for James Harden, especially the James Harden that we're witnessing, still averaging 22, 10, and 8, can still ball, but he's older, he's bigger, and he's got hamstring issues. I mean, damn, I don't have to be Dr. Oz or somebody to tell you that that is not a good recipe for success when you're going up against KD, Kyrie, and potentially Ben Simmons together.
So the expectation then is that we will go through the remainder of this season, and whatever happens in the playoffs, and Ben Simmons will play for no one.
I was told that Harden's not going anywhere for this season. You know, he has emphatically stated to the Nets he wants to stay in Brooklyn. Their brass believes him, and they're going to hold on to him, and KD wants them to hold on to him. This summer, all bets are off. We don't know what's going to happen. Daryl Morey, in my opinion, dropped the ball by not making a move this summer to move Ben Simmons. If it were Elton Brand or somebody else in that position, that's fine. Now, he's feeling the pressure because the coaches, other folks within the organization want him to make a move, but they've left it up to Daryl Morey. From what I have been told, it's his call. He better do something because he's wasting away the greatest season of Joel Embiid's career, and he is now my #1 candidate for league MVP right now. He has been a monster.
Yeah.
You have to get him some help.
He's mine too, and because of his history of injury, you just don't know how long the window is for his greatness. I agree with you. Losing a year with him is terrible. One last thing. Las Vegas still has the Nets as the favorites to win the championship. If those three guys are healthy when the playoffs begin, are they your favorite?
Yeah, probably so. I just think that Kyrie Irving is a superstar. Now, we don't know whether he's going to get off the bus or not. We got to stand in the tunnel and make sure that we look at the bus and make sure he gets off. Once he gets off the bus, he is box office. He is worth the price of admission and then some. He's that lethal, and we all know who KD is. KD is a superstar. When healthy, I believe he's the best in the world, period. So when you take that into account, and a healthy James Harden, I preface it by saying health, Harden, KD, Kyrie. If all three are healthy, I'm not betting against them in the Eastern Conference. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.